Hey, this is Liz, and you're listening to the SouthCack Syndicate Podcast.
Folks are listening really high and going, we'll figure out if we got it right. Because I'm seeing the reductions. I'm seeing the reductions take place within a week, 2 weeks.
You can always come down, but you can never list and go up.
Well, and I think
although I've seen it, I saw it during the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right? It was like 40% increase.
Yeah.
Like the next day.
Well, in the last year, 2 years, got to be tough too because, high demand doesn't necessarily equate to value of property.
Right.
If you just have a couple people that are worth to pay more than what it's worth, well, then now that hits the comps.
Sure.
So then the next house is like, well, mine's worth what theirs, or it could be the other way, I guess, too. And the fact that things change so fast. If you're selling something and you're comping the house that was sold a year ago, well, that's not even
a year at this point. I mean, it used to be, I would look at historical data for a year. It used to be that was the way the lake market worked. It took a while to get a buyer for that type of property, but a year is too long now. It's the window's tighter, 6 months, 3 months.
It's got to be a lot tighter.
It's so much tighter to keep the data that's relevant for that specific property. And all of our lake property, a lot of times my clients want to know, well, what's the price per square foot? What can we expect? Price per square foot on this waterfront house? I'm like, well, you can expect to not ever ask me that again because it's not relevant.
Yeah, it isn't.
It's dependent on the dirt that it's sitting on, the view that you're looking at, which is subjective. A view means
how much water frontage,
all those things, and the house will be what the house is. And a lot of times, what I'd find with my buyers is they'd see, well, why is this house so nice and the lot is so terrible, but this lot is so great and the house is so terrible, and they're looking within the same $100,000 of price point.
Right.
That's the value of the dirt.
Yeah, you're paying for one or the other.
One or the other.
Yeah.
So what happened? What made the real estate market go?
A number of things.
First, a couple $1 trillion in the economy.
Right.
That couldn't hurt.
$1,200 a check at a time.
Yep.
We're paying back a 40% increase in recession.
Yeah. I'll tell you that when I talk about real estate, I'm usually always talking about my real estate, my market, because real estate is hyper local. We used to say real estate is local, but it's almost hyper local at this point, down to the HOA even. And so what I saw, what made it crazy for us, is people wanted out of their city centers when their city center locked down.
Yep.
They were stuck and they wanted out of their politics, which was the first time I'd ever seen that in the more than a decade of doing this. They wanted out of those places that didn't align with their politics anymore, and they wanted ours. And that was a huge driving force.
And the fact that there was a lot more accessibility to work from home. Right. So it's like, if I can work from anywhere, I'm getting the hell out of this place.
And we're in a unique market. Like if you hadn't been here, I mean, geographically we are in a paradise.
An island.
Yes, my personal opinion. My personal opinion is like lake property still is way undervalued, and the reason I say that, and it may take time to actually come around, but so I was born in California. Mm-hmm. I seen like what happened out there. I moved out here and I was like, man, this is amazing. And, and everybody that lived here was like, I'm getting the hell out of this town as soon as I can get old enough. And I'm like, why?
Oh, we all said that.
I'm like, where are you going to go? And so I could see what was going to happen here. It took a lot longer than I thought it would, but I think it's gaining traction faster and faster and faster. And you kind of see that, for a long time, you'd see a house here and there. Well, then all of a sudden, you see 5 houses going up. Now it's 50 houses going up.